Out of space and out of time, live your life as if the whole world was your home. Welcome to Connecting Cultures, and today you'll have a chance to get familiarized with a person who is never afraid of stepping out of her comfort zone. In fact, she can literally fly, and she loves doing so under the Kazakhstani sun because it's warmer and cozier in here than in any other place. Behold Vika Olskaya in her full resplendence. She often smiles and says, she is always on the move and manages to do several things simultaneously. She arrives to Almaty on business, however, it is just a purpose. It is the purpose to come to the place where she breathes easy, where she can spread her wings, and it's a place where important, warm and tender memories are. She, Gabriel, Anya and many other friends.
Потому что Анечке было слишком весело.
Every time Victoria and Anya come from different parts of the planet, they are always on the move, and it's difficult for them to say where their home is. Is it USA where Victoria met Gabriel and where their daughter Anya was born? Or it might be Germany where Anya's grandmother lives? Or it is Kuwait, where her grandfather lives? Or is it Kazakhstan, where they are coming back all the time?
We have a very international family because I am originally from St. Petersburg. That's where I was born and that's where I grew up. That's where I went to my first university. It was the St. Petersburg University. But then I started traveling, and I was in the United States. I met my husband Gabriel then, and we lived around the world. We worked as international consultants. We helped developing countries, emerging market countries, to do economic reforms. So we lived in quite a few countries before we came to Kazakhstan. And first we came to Kazakhstan in 1994. And that was the time when the country just became independent, introduced its own currency, and there were a lot of changes happening. So we were quite lucky to witness all that and to be part of the transformation. And since then, Kazakhstan became our home. We really loved living here. We really loved Almaty. We really loved other places. We had got the best friends whom we still have.
For Gabriel and Vika, it is always interesting to try something new. In Kazakhstan, they learned paragliding. Flying with paraplane gave the couple and their friends fascinating impressions. Where there is a fantastic picture for those who is on the ground, beneath their feet, there is no other thoughts in their heads but a pure delight. 360-degree view, whisper of the wind and a strong wind stream into their faces. Those who have experienced it say that it's like flying in your sleep, when there is nothing under your feet but the height, air, and you can touch the clouds. Those who tried it once want to fly in the sky again and again.
You know, Kazakhstan was always our home at that time, and we loved the mountains here, and Gabriel, really loved the experience here because paragliding is one thing, and of course it's an extreme sport, and you have all sorts of feelings and fears when you fly, but then when you land, it's such a relaxing thing. The way we fly, we don't use any motors, although it is possible. Just being alone high up in the sky with the nature, with the wind, with the birds who actually follow us very often, just seeing the earth from high up, it's hard to describe what kind of a feeling it is. Of course, it's scary, and every paragliding pilot will tell you that they're scared more often than you would think. When you fly, your mind works like crazy. It's like playing chess. You constantly have to figure out what's going on around you and how you can find the thermal to gain some altitude and how you have to make sure that you stay in the thermal so that you don't lose your altitude, because the safest place for a paragliding pilot is high up in the air. When we're close to the ground, that's when the danger comes.
Today, Vika is too busy to fly as often as she used to. Recently, she came to Almaty with her daughter Anya on business purpose to present new products. At the same time, they decided to take a walk down their favorite streets and visit a school which Anya used to attend.
I remember how we played Capture the Flag with my gym class. Yeah, and then I remember one time we had these, in one of my classes we had some kind of maybe an entrepreneurship activity where all the kids had to design their own little businesses and then sell things, and one kid gave massages to people, and I just remember that randomly, and you know, we had different concerts and things, but I think the most meaningful thing that did happen to me here was not one particular event, but it's honestly the friendships that I made here. And during my time at AIS, I made the closest friends I've ever made in my life since then. And
You guys do keep in touch?
with some of them, yes, but it's kind of hard living in different parts of the world. I mean, you can keep in touch over Facebook, but it's not really the same as being in contact in person. But I have visited some of my friends, and they visited me.
Vika has a great team in Almaty. Being on a different continent, she's calm and doesn't worry about anything. Everyone understands and carries out its duties. It took many years. Beauty industry looks an easy and not hard-working business only at first sight. To make the business work, it is necessary to build a system and keep it up to speed.
You just have to be always alert, and in a way it is similar to paragliding, for example, because when you're up there in the air at, you know, at 3,000 meters, and it's beautiful, it's all, you know, zen kind of, but on the other hand things can happen so quickly and you have to be always alert. You have to understand that, oh, you see the change in the air, there might be a storm coming, or the wind is getting stronger, or whatever happens, you have to be very alert. And in a way, that's how things happen when you have your own business. You always have to keep your radar out there. You always have to make sure that you know what's happening inside your company. You also have to know what's happening outside your company, in your industry, whichever industry it is, it doesn't really matter. You also have to watch and see what the general tendency is.
Once Vika has started something, she throws her heart to it. Even in completely unknown sphere, she is doing well, and she became a significant part of the history of Kazakhstani television.
I was lucky to be part of the big project that was actually funded by the United States Agency for International Development, but that was done together with the government of Kazakhstan. And we created a TV program. It was, we created over 100 episodes. It was in Russian and in Kazakh. It was a weekly episode, 10 minutes. It was called «Делу время» из cassette. And I never had television experience before. I come from the language and literature background. I never worked as a journalist. And in that project, I was not a journalist personally. I was sort of, you know, doing everything. I was creating the concept. I was preparing the script for each episode, so we were thinking whom we will be filming and interview. I really hope that at least some things that we did at that time, they really became part of a new Kazakhstan. And I'm very proud that I was part of that history. I'm very proud that I was working with great journalists on Khabar.
It's been almost 10 years since Vika has started trying something new and inspiring with new things, but without Gabriel. She is raising her daughter without him. She travels across the globe and makes plans without him. But she didn't take a chance to fly without him again.
He fell and he was still alive. When he fell, he was injured, and I found him. And then I was calling for help, so our friends came from Almaty and the nearby towns. but we could not save him. So he died on the mountain. And our daughter was only 10 at that time. That was a very hard time for us because we lived in Kazakhstan since '94, although we came from the United States. So Kazakhstan was our home. And our daughter, who was born in the United States, soon after she was born, we came back to Kazakhstan and she grew up here. So for us, it was home, and we had long-term plans to stay here as long as possible. And of course, when Gabriel died, then things had to change. We stayed for a while, then we moved to the United States, then we moved to other parts of the world. So that was a big tragedy, and that was a big change in our life.
Gabike, it is how Gabriel used to be called in Kazakhstan. He was respected not just like a good specialist, but he was loved as a unique person. He was always in a highlight wherever he was. Over the years, Gabriel worked in the project of USAID, and in the past 10 years he was the head of BAS program of EBRD, working on establishing and developing a market of consulting of the region. With his support, associations of consultants were established in Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan and Kyrgyzstan. Thanks to his active participation, in countries of Central Asia came trainings on key skills of the consultant and business ethics. Gabriel strived to show everyone that professionalism knows no boundaries, and the global consulting market is not a closed society for the chosen. After his tragic death, his wife Vika and colleagues decided to continue the work of developing the business consulting industry and to establish the Gabriel Salem Foundation, an international award. Meetings and conferences organized by the foundation are held in different parts of the world. Gabriel and Vika are those people who were engaged in a variety of things in different spheres, but the red line in their lives was a mission to unite people and continents.
I've been thinking about why Kazakhstan feels so close to my heart and my family's heart, and why we feel so comfortable here, always felt and continue to be like at home here. And I think part of the reason is because Kazakhstan does have so many cultures and so many different people who live on the same land and who live together. And I think this is very important, and this is probably part of the explanation why it does feel so comfortable to be here, at least for us. We come from different backgrounds, from different cultures, different languages, and being in Kazakhstan, you see that this country has a little bit of it all.
It is a cycle of events, business, people and ideas. Such a cycle of events, deeds, people, ideas. There are people like Vika, whose thoughts turn as gears and around the axis and in opposite directions. And after all, she manages to do everything. Having communicated with Vika, I understood the meaning of the expression, fast, it is slow, but without breaks.
So I guess yeah, whatever I do, I always try to maybe do it not in the most traditional way, but kind of step out of my comfort zone and do as much as I can. And I don't know if it's always easy, because honestly, sometimes it's really tiring, and sometimes you wish you didn't take on, so much responsibility. You don't do everything. But maybe you could just do less and be happy with that. But unfortunately, that's not how it works for me. When I don't do my best, when I don't really try everything that's possible within that area, I don't feel happy. And while I'm getting very tired, and my daughter always complains that I don't sleep enough and that she's worried about me because I'm doing everything. I guess that's, the way I am. And I've been seriously trying to reconsider that and thinking, well, maybe I need to change, maybe I need to calm down and just live a normal life. But then I just think, well, I've lived like this already for so many years, so I guess I can't really change. That's just maybe who I am.